So today we are going to take a look at a monitor from MSI which offers some interesting features and aesthetics, but whether you should go for this particular model is not a very easy question. So let's talk about that. Hey guys, I am Siddharth and this is MSI Optix Mac 27 month CR review. So you get the power cable, USB cable, an HDMI and DisplayPort cables in the box, and then you get different pieces of stand along with the monitor. The installation is pretty simple, as you just have to screw the stand to the back of the monitor with 2 screws and then install the base of the stand, which you can also do with hand. Coming to the design, it looks pretty sleek and modern with a very tasteful choice of aesthetic elements. You get a very nice and angular full metal base on the stand, and then the stand also features this brushed finish plastic along with the MSI logo. You get this pass-through for routing your cables, and you can of course replace the stand with any 100mm VESA compatible stand. The stand itself offers tilt and height adjustment but doesn't offer pivot and swivel. You also get these nice brushed metal textures on the back of the monitor along with the MSI logo. And here you will also find some RGB lights which you can control with the Mystic Light software. At its bottom, we find that the power brick is built inside it, so you only need to plug in the power cable, which is what I prefer. And then you get 2 HDMI 1.4 ports instead of just one, along with a DisplayPort and an audio out jack for audio via HDMI or DisplayPort. Then you get 2 USB 2.0 ports which you can connect your peripherals to. And lastly, you also get a Kensington lock to prevent it from being stolen. You will also find a hanger that pops out, and it can be used to hang your gaming headset on it, which is a pretty nice add-on. The 27-inch display has thin bezels around 3 of its sides, and you must have noticed that this is not a flat panel. By the way, make sure that you are subscribed to the channel with bell icon so you don't miss out on future videos. So it is a curved monitor with an 1800R curve, which means that the radius of the curve is 100 mm. So it looks quite natural on a 27-inch monitor, and it does make content on it look more natural and immersive if you sit at the center. But it's not so curved that it would affect the viewing angles or won't look good if you are not at the center. It has a VA panel on it, so you get really good contrast on it, and the improvement is very noticeable if you are coming from a VA or IPS panel, which generally offer 1/3 of the contrast ratio that this panel has. The viewing angles on this panel are also very good. The colors look great and punchy, and on the MSI website, they say that it covers 115% of the sRGB and 90% of the DCI P3 color gamut. But the colors on it look a little oversaturated, and you can't disable that. So while it makes the content you are watching look nice and makes it pop, if you are going to be editing photos or videos on this, then they will look a little dull on other displays. Then the main highlight of this monitor is that it is a Full HD panel running at 144Hz, and as I have said before, Full HD on a 27-inch monitor is not that great for general desktop use. So this will be a dedicated gaming monitor, but as colors, contrast and viewing angles on it are very good, it's not that bad for desktop use if you don't mind 1080p on a 27-inch panel. But coming to gaming, it works very well for that purpose because of its refresh rate, and MSI claims that it also has a 1 millisecond response time, which I thought was too good to be true for a VA panel. And it is actually too good to be true. In its normal mode, if you run the UFO test, you will definitely not see it look like a monitor with a 1 millisecond response time. So the way MSI achieves this 1 millisecond response time is by strobing the backlight with its anti-motion blur feature, which makes the camera go crazy, so I can't record that. But two issues it creates is with visual artifacts and a decrease in brightness. So I tried to look for visual artifacts, and while they are somewhat visible if you look at the cursor movement carefully, while gaming it's not that visible, but the hit on its 300 nits brightness is pretty significant. I generally use my monitors on lower brightness levels, so it is bright enough for me, but if you are going to be using this in bright environments, then it's not that great. So personally what I do is just use it in standard mode, The movement in games doesn't look that blurry for me, but if you are very serious about playing competitive esports titles, then you may want to look at something with a TN panel, even though you will get colors, contrast, and viewing angles that are way worse. All types of panels have compromises in different areas. So VA panel doesn't have the colors of IPS panels and response time of TN panels, but I really enjoyed watching videos and playing games on this VA panel because the superior contrast makes a big difference. You also have FreeSync in this monitor, which means that this is also G-Sync compatible with the recent Nvidia GPUs. So you can get a tear-free gaming experience with both brands, but just like the Asus monitor I reviewed recently, you cannot enable FreeSync and anti-motion blur feature at the same time, which I don't use anyways. The controls on the monitor are very simple with a single joystick at its back, and the menu system is also very easy to use and offers all the features that you will need. And you can also control anything with the OSD software, which offers full control for every setting, which is great to see. So overall, this is a great monitor. But then I also checked another model that MSI sells, which is the Optix MAC271C, which seems to have the exact same panel and even the USB ports, audio out, and the headphone stand. And the only feature it seems to lack is a height adjustable stand and RGB lights at back. So the height adjustable stand and RGB lights do cost money, and this is a strategy that other brands also use. But at a price difference of 6,500 rupees on a monitor that costs 28,000 rupees, I don't know if I would go for this model for the extra features that aren't that important if you are on a budget. So in conclusion, the MAC271CR is a pretty well-rounded monitor that offers great aesthetics and also works very well for almost anything. It is a good monitor in general, but it is focused on gaming with its 144Hz refresh rate. And while the 1 millisecond response time that is advertised is not without some added conditions, I think that this should be good enough for most gamers except the hardcore competitive esports players. But the lower priced model, the MAC271C, seems to offer a better value, and at a price of 21,000 rupees, that seems to be a pretty good value with all the features that MSI has kept even on the lower priced model. But if you want to have that sweet RGB at the back of your monitor along with the better stand, you can go with this one. And I'll have links to both of these models in the video description so you can decide for yourself. So let me know what you think about this monitor in the comment section below. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe to the channel with bell icon for more awesome videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.